In the midst of the Amsterdam sky that began to turn red by the twilight light, the air around the Ziggo Dome was filled with an energy that was difficult to explain. Thousands of eyes were fixed on one spot, the entrance of the venue, which from noon became the center of attention, and hundreds of purple flags fluttered in the hands of fans who were eagerly awaiting this historic moment. Jin BTS's last concert on his solo tour series titled The Astronaut Finale was predicted to be an emotional night. However, no one, not even the most avid fans, expected that the evening would turn into one of the most viral moments in ARMY history. The reason was simple but surprising: the sudden appearance of Park Jimin, unannounced, without an official announcement, but with a presence that immediately made the whole arena roar. Since the afternoon, the line outside the venue has been filled with speculative chatter about who might be present to surprise Jin. Some fans joked about the possibility of another BTS member coming, but most considered it almost impossible given their busy schedules and personal commitments. Some even whispered that they heard vague news from staff who were accidentally heard talking in the technical area, but even that sounded more like baseless gossip. There were no visual signs, no suspicious social media posts from the other BTS members. Everything went on as usual, until the minutes leading up to the concert began. As the lights inside the Ziggo Dome dimmed, cheers echoed, a sign that the genie would soon appear on stage. However, just when the big screen was showing a montage of Jin's career journey from debut to the present, several fanphone cameras sitting on the right side of the stage captured a figure walking among the staff, wearing an oversized black hoodie, mask, and hat. The movements were ordinary, barely noticeable, but his gait and posture immediately provoked a wave of whispers among the rows of spectators. "It's not Jimin, is it?" asked someone half incredulous, sharpening his gaze. In a matter of seconds, the amateur footage was already spread on X, it used to be Twitter, and in 5 minutes, the word Jimin instantly penetrated the global trending list. When finally the stage's large camera captured the figure clearly, albeit still with a face covering the crowd, broke out in deafening screams. Jimin, who has been known to be focused on preparing his own musical projects and is barely seen at public events, now stands on the edge of the stage, giving a small smile and waving his hand. Jin, who was ready to greet the fans, looked surprised, his eyes widening as he turned towards the movement. The expression that appeared on his face could not be hidden, a mixture of happiness, emotion, and a little disbelief. The scene immediately became the center of attention. The camera panned Jin's laughing face as he walked towards Jimin, then hugged him tightly in front of thousands of fans. The cheers turned into chants of "Jimin, Jimin," that echoed throughout the room. There was no official announcement from the MC or crew, as if this appearance was deliberately left to be a natural surprise that could only be felt directly by those present. For ARMY, who has been following BTS's journey since the beginning, the moment had a much deeper meaning than just the reunion of the two members on stage. Jin and Jimin are known to have a unique relationship, not just as group mates, but also as supportive figures behind the scenes. When Jin had to serve in the army, Jimin was one of the members who visited him most often, even when there were no cameras recording. Their moments of togetherness are often full of warmth, and now, after a long absence from public appearances together, the scene is again present in an unexpected form. After a brief hug, Jin invited Jimin to the stage. "I didn't even know he was coming," Jin said with a laugh and pointed to Jimin, who simply shrugged his shoulders as if to say, "Surprise." Their body language is so natural, showing how comfortable they are together. Jin then told me briefly that Jimin did not give any news before, even the staff did not know much. "He came like a ninja," Jin said, making the audience laugh. Throughout the next song, Jimin did not sing immediately, but stood in the corner of the stage while enjoying Jin's performance. However, the large camera occasionally captured a tender expression on his face, which looked like someone who was proud to see his best friend reach a peak moment. The lights, the applause, and the noise of the crowd made the scene even more dramatic, as if the outside world had disappeared, and all that remained were two friends reunited on the same stage. Jimin's presence also created an emotional atmosphere among fans. Some soldiers were seen crying while holding light sticks, while others recorded every second of the moment to share with the global community. On social media, Videos of Jimin's presence were viewed millions of times in just a few hours, with comments flooding multiple platforms. "This is why I love BTS," one fan wrote on Instagram. "They are not only colleagues, but family." Not stopping there, Jin even asked Jimin to join in singing one of their favorite songs, Epiphany. It was one of the highlights of the night. Although there was no previous vocal preparation, Jimin performed his part in a clear and soulful voice, leaving the audience in hysterics. The harmony of their voices feels so familiar, as if bringing ARMY back to the days of BTS performing fully. Jin is seen several times turning his head to Jimin with a big smile, and at the end of the song, they stare at each other for a moment before closing with another hug. After the song ended, Jimin spoke briefly to the fans. "I came because I wanted to be here for Jin Hyung on this special night," she said in a trembling voice. "We are all proud of him, and I know the ARMY feels the same." The sentence was met with long cheers, and Jin, who was seen holding back tears, patted Jimin on the shoulder gratefully. Overall, Jimin's presence at Jin's last concert was not only a surprise to fans, but also a symbol of the strong bond that the BTS members have, despite the rush and distance. In the midst of an entertainment industry that is often filled with busy schedules and public demands, moments like this remind that true friendships can still survive and even grow stronger. For ARMY, the night will be remembered not only as the closing concert of Jin's tour, but also as the night where two best friends again shared the stage, laughter and songs, right under the spotlight of such beautiful lights. Videos, photos, and stories from the night continued to flood the internet for days afterwards. Every social media platform, from TikTok to Weibo, was filled with footage of Jimin waving, Jin laughing in surprise, to their warm embrace on stage. Several international news outlets have covered the moment, highlighting how BTS maintains a strong emotional connection amid a flurry of individuals. Some fans even called the night an unplanned mini BTS reunion. Until now, neither Jin nor Jimin have given any further explanation on how the visit was arranged. Was it purely Jimin's personal initiative? Is there a secret coordination behind the scenes? The questions are left hanging, and perhaps that is precisely where the beauty lies. The best moments are often born without careful planning, come just like that, and leave a lasting impression. The concert at the Ziggo Dome that night finally closed with a much more emotional atmosphere than anyone imagined. Jin bowed deeply, thanking the fans, before stepping off the stage with Jimin by his side. The image of the two figures walking side by side, surrounded by cheers of love from thousands of people, became the perfect cover for an evening that will be remembered forever. The ARMY in attendance may not have realized that they had just witnessed a small history in BTS's great journey, a history born of simple surprises, but carrying a tremendous emotional impact.